As an example for how to fill a dent, I'm going to use this old motorcycle tank I've got, which I'm just going to use for these purposes of these videos. I've marked a dent there, as you can see. It's nothing major, it's only a small one. But we're going to fill that dent, and I'm going to show you how to fill it correctly. Now, there's two schools on how to fill a dent. There's a school of you remove all of the paint down to the bare metal, and the school of you only need to scratch the surface and you can put the filler straight over the paint. Well, I'm only in one of those schools, and that's the school of remove the paint down to the bare metal. Again, I've seen countless people, even on YouTube videos, where they're saying it's perfectly okay just to get a bit of flattening paper or your DA, the orbital sander, and scuff it up and then put the filler into it and flat that down. Nah, it's not. I've seen them in workshops do that. And after the car is painted, it actually is a bump. Yeah, it's a bump. They actually leave it with a bump rather than a hollow. And not only that, but come a year down the road, go back to that vehicle and you'll probably see a sweat mark around it. That's because they've gone and put filler over old paint. The filler reacts with the hardener and goes very, very hot. And that heat affects the paint and primer that's underneath it. It heats that up as well, just the same as it heats the metal up. And what happens to something when it gets hot? It expands. And what happens to it when it gets cold? It contracts. And all that expanding and contracting has caused the sweat mark to appear a year later. I saw one job within the last 2 years where they repainted an old Mercedes, the Sports, the SL model, two-door, lovely car. It was all repainted, and of course I looked at it and there were sweat marks all over it. And that's simply because they couldn't be bothered to get that down to the bare metal to do the filler work. Now, if you're just gonna do a job because you want to sell that vehicle, that's fine. You know, you go ahead and do it. It's not something I would do, but if that's all you want to do and you don't want the arsehole of actually having to do a bit of work, you go ahead and do that. That's your prerogative. But for people who are in the bodywork game, who want to build a name for themselves, and they're doing restoration work, number one, most of that restoration work, the old paint that's on there is some type of cellulose paint. That's definitely going to sweat up. That all has to be sealed, really, or completely stripped. But that's another subject. But that's my take on how to prepare a panel for filler work. Now, again, before you do anything like using power tools to get rid of old paint, I recommend you wear a mask. There's no point in breathing in all of this paint and dust. You, my friend, will have to jump down. Come on. I didn't know what was going to happen when I started on this tank, but it's a great example, let me tell you, of what other people do. Now, I'm just going to show you there, hoping you can see that correctly. As you can see, this has been repaired and painted before. Probably had a couple of paint jobs. Could even have more than that, could have 3 or 4. But what's happened on this job is that someone has repaired in where that dent is. Now there could even be a bit of rust there and a hole, because I see fiberglass put onto it and then filler put onto the fiberglass. Here, where I've gone through to the metal, if you can't see it or feel it, but there's an edge there where the fiberglass is. That, you can even hear that sounds hollow, like it hasn't adhered. The paint itself on the outside, no matter how much you try and sand that, there's an edge. It's been painted before, because there's the black outer, primer, black, primer, and then filler, fiberglass, which hasn't taken. And I'm going to, in fact, it's moving. Let's have a look. There you go. You can actually dig. Look at that. You can dig that out. Yeah. There's not a hole there. It's just a dent. But you can see shiny paintwork underneath. The colour of the tank originally was red. And they haven't even scratched that red. And that's why nothing is sticking. Could just literally peel that off as it is. Now, whether that's a DIY job or someone has actually done this and charged for it, I don't know. But I have seen body shops where the people don't really know what they're doing, and this is the sort of work they churn out. I don't last long in those places. In fact, I don't last long in a lot of places because I'm just too fussy. But there's the problem. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my angle grinder with one of those sandpaper wheels on it, and I'm going to get this back, and we'll come back to it. Now, in all honesty, if I was doing this as a private job for someone, or even if I was doing it for myself and I just wanted to restore it, I would strip this tank. It's got filler everywhere. The old red paint hasn't even been flatted down, so you'll always get an edge, no matter how much you try and flat that out. Even where it's some sort of mixture between fiberglass and filler that they put on this. I don't know what they've used, but it smells like fiberglass. So they put a fiberglass coating on, and then I think there's probably, if I was to strip this, I'd probably find either pinholes or some sort of rust or something where the petrol would be able to get out from. But that's irrelevant for this point. I'm just really just want to show you how to get something ready for filler work. So that's the way I would do it. I would get it all the way down to the bare metal, take out any corrosion, rust, get it back to as good a base metal as you can, and get rid of all that old paint. Because if you leave old paint deep into it and it hasn't been scratched like these other people that just say, "I'll put a DA over it," and it hasn't been scratched, the filler's not going to stick to it. Might look nice once they've painted it, but as I said, come 6 months, a year down the road, you'll start to hear where it's pulling away from it and start to get a sweat mark. So always go down to bare metal. Look, I don't care about the people who say, no, there's nothing wrong with just DAing it and put a filler in. You do what you want, lads. I won't be doing it, and I won't be recommending it. This is the way to do it right. In fact, the way to do this right is to strip it completely back to bare metal. But I'm just doing it for a demo purposes. So let's put some filler on. Now, this is just for demo purposes. I'm not worried about the rest of it. We have enough filler on that now to finish it off. When I spread, I keep a little bit of tension on the right hand side away from the dent so I can get a lump of filler over it. As I say, don't worry about trying to make it perfect now. All you want to do is fill that dent. Now you'll know how long you've got left with the filler because it will start to go a bit hard as you try and smooth it out. Currently it's okay. As I say, that's plenty enough for this job. And don't worry about trying to get this completely smooth and flat, because the more you try and do that, the more you're going to take away from the dent itself. You want to get it high, really, over where the dent is, because you're going to be flattening that out. Be honest with you, I'm pretty confident that that's all I need to do. And as I say, to clean everything up, just rub it against the edge of your board. And once that's dry, that'll just knock off. And there's hardly anything on that. Leave this to one side. Put your filler spreader over on it and just leave that to dry or harden. That's been on there for around about 15-20 minutes and it is nice and hard. So that's ready for flattening. I just have a block with a bit of 80 grit paper on it. So I'm going to flat this now. Well, that literally took me 2-3 minutes to flat that down, if that. And there it is. Just one coat of filler. There's no pinholes in it. I never weighed anything out. I never guaranteed I'd do it in one coat, even though I knew I probably would. But forget about the rest of the bad paintwork and everything else around it. I'm not bothering with any of that because it needs to be stripped. But that's your dent covered. Now, I finished that in 80 grit paper, and I'd be quite happy to go over that with 2-pack primer. I don't need to go down to 120, 180, 240, etc. You're just wasting time that way. When you're in the bodywork game, time is money. And the boss doesn't want you spending time pouncing around with different grades of paper. He or she just wants you to fill the dent, get it looking right, get it in primer, and get it ready for painting. That's it. And that's what I've done here. That hasn't taken me much time at all. You can have a look at the filler work yourself. There's no pinholes in it. And you saw how I mixed up the filler. I wasn't saying buttery smooth or anything like that. I just put a little blob of hardener with the filler, put it up, mix it up, give it a good mix up, put it on. 15 minutes later, it's rock hard. Took me 2 to 3 minutes to flat that down, and it's now ready for primer. The 80 grit scratches will be covered by the primer. What I would normally do is get the compressor now and put my blowgun on it to blow all the little bits of dirt or dust that got trapped in the scratches and any little pinholes that might be there. And that will blow that all out, degrease it, mask it up, primer it, leave it. So I hope that has got rid of some of those myths that people out there on YouTube are trying to convince you of. Either they're just trying to be different for some purpose of making money or getting views. Number 2, they're inexperienced. Or number 3, they don't really know what they're doing. But that's the way to do it. So hope you enjoyed the video, and I know it's going to be controversial with some people because they don't want to be shown up. Anyway, see you again.